Logan Lucky. Catchy. David, what's Logan Lucky about?
Good 5 already. Logan Lucky is the story of Adam Driver and Channing Tatum, who are two brothers, Logan brothers, and they decide that they are going to pull off this massive kind of heist.
I think they used all the comedies in the trailer, and they probably shouldn't have done that as much. I think they should have saved it for when you actually watch the film, and that's why I think it's a bit disappointing when you kind of you already know what jokes are coming. Like when he was talking about Twitter and the Google, we'd kind of seen that in the trailer. Basically kind of like the Ocean's trilogy. So I was hoping that he would come with a bigger bang, but it wasn't bad for what it was.
He did say it was likened to the Ocean's 11, isn't there? There was a line basically saying...
There is a line where he references his own film, and I think if you come into it expecting like, I liked it a bit more. I say that. I think
it's quite nice to kind of see a different side to the Southern mentality that you do get in this film. You know, you do get the kind of laid-back lifestyle and the rough and readiness of them. They're not all just out saying yeehaw. You know, there's a little bit more substance to them. But I think you struggle to kind of work out whether they're like criminal masterminds or if they're really silly. And I think Soderbergh, he kind of didn't know where to go with that, so he thought.
Well, we're going to go to popcorn. So, CC, how many out of 5?
I'm going to give this one a 3. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I just loved like the bits with Daniel Craig and Adam Driver, so I got to give it a 4, like a lowish 4, but going with low expectations.
Going with 4,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay with me.
Okay, I'm with you.
Right,
What is
going
this?
with David on this. London Film Club gives Logan Lucky 4 out of 5 popcorns. It's rated certificate 12A, and it's actually already out in cinemas. So go and see that tonight if you want, after the show. American Made. Tom Cruise is back.
Woo.
David, what's he back with?
So, American Made is a true story of US pilot Barry Seal, and he kind of indulges in a triple life. He's an excellent pilot, and there's some great scenes for that, which we'll get to. But basically, he starts to help out the CIA, looking at
the way that they used this sort of narration style with the camcorder. It wasn't just a standard voiceover. There was a little bit of thought and creativity that went into it. You can see that they did some research on Barry Seal. This is based on a true story, so it was interesting to see how the CIA kind of was operating, and I did quite like the way they injected old classic 70s and 80s footage into the film. The music, there was some good retro vibes going on in there, so that worked quite nicely.
Right, and this lady here, Sarah Wright, playing the wife, apparently should have been given a lot more airtime. She's not in it as much as... There wasn't beefed out as much as she could have been.
She could have... There was a couple of scenes where I did think, I wonder what she thinks about this, and they didn't quite give her the opportunity to express herself. It really is a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, and I think, like, I'm an ardent Tom Cruise fan. Like, I'd even defend The Mummy just based on him. Like, that's how much I like the guy.
No, we can't do that.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
We can't do that.
Tom Cruise.
We're not allowing that. Not allowing that, OK?
Hey,
don't talk about The Mummy anymore.
All right,
don't do that.
I mean, it was terrible. But the thing is that Tom Cruise is extraordinarily watchable, and it's weird to keep... I know I'm going on about the same point, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you watch this film, you'll know exactly what we're saying. Like, it always comes back to Tom.
Yeah, it does.
OK, well, just not based on Tom. As the film, looking at it as a whole, what are we giving it out of 5?
I'm going to give this a 4. I think it's really strong. It's engaging throughout. You don't feel bored. You are rooting for him all the way, so you'd have to see what happens to him in the end.
Tom's getting 4 stars.
Get it, Tom.
Tom fan. I'd also give it, like... I was thinking 3 at first, but then the more I thought of it, I actually really did enjoy it. I'll give it a 4.
All righty.
Well
London
done.
Film Club gives American Made 4
cheers.
out of 5 popcorns. It's rated certificate 15, and it's hitting cinemas tomorrow. Detroit. CC, tell us about this.
Detroit. OK, so we have this film. It's the summer of 1967, and there's just complete civil unrest in Detroit. Police brutality, and the African-American citizens are just trying to really fight against this, and it just turns extremely barbaric and horrific quite quickly, actually. Catherine Bigelow, she starts out with showing Jacob Lawrence's paintings of the Great Migration and explaining how that kind of setting came about. And immediately we're thrown into instant rioting, and police are just so aggressive towards the African-American community. But the film centres mainly around the Algiers Motel, where there are several black men staying.
Very profound and powerful piece of cinematography here.
Yes.
So
I mean, like, this is a very interesting film because, you know, the others are Logan Lucky and American Made. We can be all joyful and, you know, and have a bit of fun. Detroit is much more serious, and it should be, you know, it's an important film about a good topic that obviously isn't talked about as much as it should. I think Catherine Bigelow and Mark Bowl, who wrote the script, do a very good job of capturing that intensity, which is probably the thing I like most about the film. You know, like when it starts with the riots and then we move into the actual Algiers hotel.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it the best. Like when it feels like a white knuckle ride where you're on the edge of your seat going, oh my goodness.
You feel like you're there, don't you? Rather than, you feel like a witness more than a viewer.
Yes, you do. And I think that's the way, the shots that she's chosen, the way that she's using the camera, I think that's quite purposeful. She wants you to feel like you're witnessing this and that you're a part of it. And then you see that really sort of long hour scene in the Algiers motel and you literally feel like you've moved from being into a sort of thriller into a horror movie.
Yeah.
So it moves.
Will Poulter's character in this is absolutely, he's terrifying, and that baby face makes it even.
Do you know what it is? It's the eyebrows. The eyebrows make it,
He needs to go see somebody, because those are like demon
No, but they're so good. It just makes it so good. He's so convincing.
It's such a difficult
character.
role, because obviously when white guy plays like the racist kind of over the top, like you have to nail it, because otherwise you just come out like a clown and you look like you've just wasted your young talent. I mean, the guy's like, you know, he's under 30, just won the BAFTA for Hot Young Talent. Like he is
excellent.
rising, and you have to nail this role as the Officer Krauss, who is the kind of racist gang leader of the cops. He's fantastic. And also John Boyega, who also isn't in as much of the film, but is very good as well. Shouldn't be forgotten.
Yeah, I think Catherine tried to do something clever with him as to why he wasn't in it as much. And I think what she was trying to portray is that even though he was a security guard and he had guns as well, he was helpless. He couldn't do anything. He was completely defenseless. And you wanted him to do something. And you almost felt like, why isn't he doing something?
Yeah.
But it just shows that as an African American in that situation, no matter if you are even on the side of the law, you are helpless and powerless.
Yeah. We're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. So let's go to popcorns. How many out of 5?
I'm giving it a 5. I think it's excellent.
Dropping it. I'm giving it 4.
All right then, London Film Club gives Detroit 4 out of 5 popcorns. It's rated Certificate 15 and it's out in cinemas tomorrow. That's it, the end of another week. Thank you to my guests, David and Cece, and of course...